Pep Guardiola has always had a reputation as one of football's great innovators, sometimes even to a fault, for example going without a holding midfielder in a Champions League final. But for every one of these disastrous ideas that backfire spectacularly, there is also the time where he took Lionel Messi and played him as the false nine at the fulcrum of the best team the world has ever seen, the time where he converted Philipp Lahm to a holding midfielder, and the time where he was able to accommodate Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva into a midfield three, having both been previously seen as luxury number 10s. Pep is a tactical genius, and throughout his career he has always evolved, even if he may have a tendency to overthink big games. One of the latest examples of his genius is how he revitalised a declining Man City with an intriguing system in which his fullbacks were the key to it. Here's how Pep inverted his fullbacks to storm to the Premier League title. For the vast majority of the 2021 title-winning season, Guardiola's two fullbacks were some combination of Kyle Walker, Alexander Zinchenko and João Cancelo, but Cancelo really is the key to this system. Able to operate on either side, he has naturally very attacking instincts, but is also very technically gifted, but not in the way you'd expect for a fullback. His passing is one of his biggest strengths, and he is also very comfortable on the ball in tight spaces. This profile makes him highly effective in the advanced half-space positions, able to come inside and quickly slit defences open, while his marker doesn't have a clue how to handle him. Assuming he's on the right side, essentially when the team is in possession it becomes a 3-3-3-1, with Cancello occupying the position on the right side of the midfield three, with the licence to roam ahead, either coming further inside to the number 10 area, or remaining in the half space where he's free to interchange with the right winger or one of the central midfielders. The fact that he is just as comfortable playing this exact role on the left hand side is another reason why he's so useful. On the other side of Cancello, the opposite fullback is essentially his foil. If Cancelo's playing on the right, then it will be Zinchenko on the left, and if Cancelo's on the left side, Walker will be occupying the right hand side. I'm going to use Zinchenko as the left back for this example. His role in this shape is also to come inside when on the ball, but he doesn't quite get into the same adventurous positions that Cancelo does. Instead, he sort of becomes a half centre back in a back three, half auxiliary midfielder. The diagram here shows this. The incredibly complex system City play is pretty much held together by Zinchenko. He is the facilitator that allows for all of the fluidity. He basically takes up a position either in midfield or in defence based on the positioning of those around him and what the team needs. For example, if Silva and Cancelo both come inside to form a midfield three of Rodri, like in this example here, where Rodri is very irritatingly just out of shot, but I promise you he is there, then Zinchenko will sit back and stay with the defence. However, if one of Cancelo or Silva moves wide or pushes up, then Zinchenko becomes the left side of the midfield three, like in this example here. To properly delve into how this all works in practice, I'm going to look at some examples from matches this season which really showcase the intricate roles that Pep has his fullbacks playing and how they contribute to City's system and build-up play. Following screenshots have all come from a 5-0 dismantling of West Brom in late January and a 3-0 win over Tottenham just a few weeks later. This is how City lined up against West Brom. Nominally, it's a 4-3-3, however we now know that with the positions that Cancelo and Zinchenko take up, on the ball the shape looks more like this. I don't think putting a name to this shape is really possible, nor even a good idea, as it implies a certain rigidity and Pep's tactics really are anything but. Ultimately, it is exceptionally fluid, and every player knows their job to perfection. This still image shows the assist to the first goal. Cancello plays a long ball over the top, which Gundogan runs onto and slots home. Another key reason for Cancello and Zinchenko coming into midfield that I haven't even yet mentioned is that it allows Gundogan to raid forward and get in dangerous attacking areas just like he does here. Previously, he's always been more of a deep lying midfielder. However, this season he's added a deadly new attacking element to his game, which has only been made possible thanks to the inverted fullbacks. He was so successful at it this season that he actually ended up as City's top goalscorer, which if you told someone a year ago, they would think you were insane. The assist itself is a brilliant pass by Cancello, whose passing abilities is a big reason for why Guardiola wants him inside. Without Cancello being central and forming a double pivot with Rodri as he does here, he cannot play this pass. It's also interesting to see him significantly more central than John Stones, who on paper is the centre-back. He's out on the right, with Zinchenko having formed part of the back three. In these next two screenshots, we can clearly see the huge amount of freedom that Cancelo has been granted within the system. First we see him very advanced in the right half space, showing for the ball, and in the next one he has come extremely central and is in the hole, awaiting a cutback or loose ball for him to pounce on just outside the box. You can imagine something like this would absolutely astonish Gareth Southgate, who seems terrified of letting his fullbacks pass the halfway line, let alone giving them an almost free creative role, but that's besides the point. I want to just look at one more, and this last one shows Raheem Sterling about to play the ball inside to Cancello. Sterling is out on the touchline, providing the width, while both Bernardo Silva and Cancelo are occupying the half space. Again, typically it would be the fullback on the outside offering an overlap to the winger, but with Guardiola, it is Cancello who's the inside option. This is also a good opportunity to compare the touch maps of Silva and Cancello for the West Brom game. Let's play spot the difference. Unfortunately, you can't, because they have nearly identical touch maps, which is so interesting for what is on paper a number 8 and a right back. The only difference is that Cancello has a lot more touches, but this is only because Silva was subbed off with half an hour to go. The reason for them both appearing to take up the exact same positions is because they both equally interchange between coming inside and forming the pivot with Rodri, pushing up into the number 10 position, or finding pockets in the half spaces. Can you imagine trying to mark that? It would be a nightmare, and for Tottenham it actually was, because Cancello immediately plays it back to Sterling, who makes a run in behind beyond Ben Davies, which is only possible because Son doesn't know who to pick up and Dyer is unable to close the ball down, as doing so would leave him stranded miles out of position, so Cancello is under no pressure at all to easily pick out Sterling, and this went on to almost create another goal for City. Thank you so much for watching my very first video. Please do subscribe if you like this kind of thing, as I've got loads more ideas for tactically focused football videos that I'm really excited about. As I'm recording this, there are a few more days left in the group stages of Euro 2020, and I would love to get a couple of videos out for it during the tournament. So thanks again, and come on England.